Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Sunday, January 28th, 2018. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as, please look up, as long as they are already living by the rules given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us, please look up, and are already contributing more to completing the Search for Truth assignments, please look up, given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us, please look up. Then they are taking, or using, or borrowing, please look up, in Search for Truth resources. Please look up and have whatever arguments you have with the wiser minds above who have sent in those assignments and rules. Please look up and have your arguments directly with them. Please look up. Please look up. This morning we have an interesting signal of large fires of oaks being burned. 3 large fires in this very small area that we have awareness of. 3 large fires of oak being burnt. That's the answer to your question. The answer to your question is 3 large piles of oak, good hardwood, being burned in an era. Why are we pointing this out? First, we're not. Please look up, have your argument. See that waving hand? That's who's talking. And that person is talking about the nature of climate change and how it's triggered by an excess of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and how trees are made of carbon, and that burning trees exhales carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, triggering even more climate change. And so in an era of climate change, it is distinctly not what the situation calls for to just burn enormous trees. And what do I know? I also know we're in an era of soil destruction, and that what would be called for is chipping the trees, converting them into mulch, and letting them replenish the soil. Why do you ask? Let's pump up electrons from as deep in the contaminated zone as we're able to connect with right now, pumping the electrons up the backs of the legs, up the backs of the spines, out the crowns, past the canopy, past the clouds, past where airplanes fly, past where satellites orbit, past where the moon orbits, on out the plane of the solar system, out the plane of the galaxy, out the plane of the universe, and we ask, out of the depths we call to you, O Lord, what now? For us, the collective of the nature realms inside the failed zone, to live our collective soul plan, what now? What now? Just keep pumping up. Out of the depths we call to you, O Lord.
It's very quiet.
It's very quiet. It's very quiet. Keep pumping up electrons. And somebody's asking, why electrons? Well, multiple reasons, including of all the subatomic particles we've worked with, the electrons consistently test as having the best attitudes.
That's true.
And what do we know? We know when we do our error correction protocols by dimension that when we correct the errors, no matter who made them, that have fallen into the electron dimension, that a sense of calm occurs.
That's true.
That implies that at least there's enough rightness after that error correction that things don't feel crazy.
That's true.
And what else do we know? We know it doesn't happen at any other level, and therefore the electrons stand a shot at getting to what's actually going on.
Yes, that's true.
In advance of when everybody else stands a shot of getting to what's actually going on, and they move willingly and quickly and sequentially they don't skip steps, and so we can shoot them right on up through our spines and our feet and all the rest of our surrounds, and keep them moving upward, sparks through the channels of higher powers. Why do you ask?
Why do you ask?
And how do they fly? They fly on the wings of questions asked with real curiosity, and both are required. We need the flow of electrons to get the questions up, and we need the questions to get the We need the flow of electrons to get the questions up, and we need the questions to get the flow of electrons up. It's a team, it's a joint venture.
That's true.
Seems to be a joint venture. Why do you ask?
Why do you ask? Pumping up.
It does have a feeling of trying to figure out something, that there is a sense of trying to figure out something.
Yes.
And they're wondering if this is maybe a part of it. And it's a theory that's they're calling it a crackpot theory.
Yes.
And they're referring dismissively to the work of our friends Saul and Isis
That's true.
as crackpots.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
They're calling them that.
yes. Okay. Pump up electrons from the depths through us, sparks through channels of these higher presences who are, as somebody says, why, how dare we impose
their
invade?
airspace.
Well, you're in our airspace, and it is our job. That it's been, we've been told, we have been roundly chastised and
That's true.
castigated for not having done this for the last 3 years, so we're not going to stop now. Take it up with the people there. See those people who said to do it? You're going to have to look up to see them. Those people up there say to do it. Take it up with them. What now? For us, the collective of the nature realms inside the veiled zone, to live our collective soul plan. What now? Just keep clearing from wherever Pan is working, which is probably as deep into the veiled zone as we're able to get right now.
That's true.
Keep the energy moving through us, sparks up through the channels, and ask with real curiosity. How to heal the root cause of the inappropriate, dismissive burning of a good resource of good oak in such a way as to align us, the collective of the nature realms inside the veiled zone, with our collective soul plan.
There's a clearing feeling in the head, and I can hear the question going up and echoing in rooms.
I hear the echoes. Sometimes echoes mean the rooms are empty, and what do I know? We know that what that seems to mean, rooms seems to mean host lives, denser lives, where souls either gather or are not present. And
Yes.
and what do we know? We know when we see these spaces that look like empty rooms, it seems to be a life that does not have soul energy in it at
That's
the
true.
moment. And you can tell by the dust in the corners how long it's been since there's been soul energy who is taking responsibility for the life.
That's true.
Why do you
Why
ask?
do you ask?
Very much the feeling of wanting to know how much we know.
Yes,
We know that much.
that's true.
That's what it shows. It's abandoned lives. What it shows is misuse of host lives by souls, either misused through abandonment or misused through invasion and treating it like a public dumping ground or like a private dumping ground, but treating it
that's
like
true.
a dumping ground for bad karma, karmic dumping. Why do you ask?
It's possible that they're asking because they're looking for somewhere to dump bad
Dump the karma. I know. It's a real bummer. Here, we've learned transmutation techniques. You can just crunch and juice and burn all the mistakes, because bad karma usually is an accumulation of our own mistakes.
That's
and
true.
we can just correct all errors no matter who made them. And we can even correct the errors of not acknowledging errors no matter who made them.
Well,
in
that's true.
such a way as to align us, the nature realms inside the failed zone, with our collective soul plan. Let's do that. Burning, crunching, juicing, burning everything that is refusing to consider itself an error. And what do I know? I know that so much of this is on the honor system.
That's true.
And self-definitions, and if we're not willing to acknowledge what's actually going on, then we are stealing the healing opportunities from ourselves. Why do you ask?
Why do they?
It's a very unsettled response.
Yeah.
That's unsettling. They didn't think of it that way.
I feel disturbed.
I'm disturbed by that. I understand. It's disturbing. What now? For us, the collective of the nature realms inside
the failed zone.
to live our collective soul plan. What now?
Wow.
And what about these messages of the fires? They're all around us this morning.
That's true.
Big fires. Set intentionally by humanoids. How do we know they were set intentionally? Well, two of them we saw while we were running, and one of them we saw all the people there, or the equipment there, and then there was no fire, and then
That's
we
true.
came back and there was a big fire, and there were
Yes,
people
that's
there.
true.
They set that fire. It was intentional. And the other one, that wood's been piled up for, I think, months actually. Enormous trees, enormous, just so big, huge,
Yes.
huge, way too big to put our arms around.
That's true.
Being burnt, just burnt. Beautiful oak trees, and now we have our right across the fence line, another one, just right in front of us. We're looking at it right now.
That's true.
There's all that smoke. What is that about?
What is that about?
It's clearly a message. For whom is the message, and what is the meaning of the message? There's lots of people who don't want to look up.
Yes, it's true.
Friends, we've got to look up, look up, look up, look up. Our societies are the cause of the problem. Everybody who's hearing this, we should all take it as our working theory that we are members of the society that is the problem.
That's true.
Here, in this dimension, ground zero, planet Earth, probably most of the people listening to this are humanoids, and humanoids are the problem. We are destroying our planet. It is us. And if you're a humanoid in North America, we're the worst of the worst.
That's true.
We're leading the race to destruction. Why do you ask? We excel in destroying ecosystems.
That's true.
That's what we excel at. Why do you ask? Somebody just asked, what are you good at? We excel in destroying ecosystems. We're really excellent at that. I think we're the best.
I think we're the best.
In this dimension on this planet.
That's true.
And we have to judge cultures by their frame of reference. That's a channeling of 28 years.
That's true.
So our frame of reference, we are kicking butt in destroying ecosystems. Why do you ask?
Why do you ask?
It's true for all of us, friends. It's true for all of us. Would you please look up? Would you just please look up? I know how scary it is to look up and listen up and ask wiser minds above. What about our society? How could we make it better? But it's not going to change until a critical mass of us begins to look up.
That's true.
And ask up, what now? And now just keep pumping sparks up through channels, because they don't get to stop us.
That's true.
They don't get to say for us. Hello, naysayers. Watch us. Keep going. What now? What now? What now? What now?